coronavirus came from animals, and it's believed that the source was actually a seafood market in Wuhan, which also sells wild animals. So far as we know, all the cases have come out of Wuhan. So some of these people are in places like Thailand and Japan, but they haven't picked it up there. They actually got it in Wuhan and then they travelled. In China, where the most cases are, it's older people who are ending up in hospital with this. They're usually over 40, and the very youngest person diagnosed is about 13 or 14 years old. So it doesn't appear to be affecting small children, and those who've died tend actually to have underlying conditions, as they say. They're frail, they may have heart disease or cancer already, and so they're vulnerable. Basically, their immune systems are not very robust, and they're going to find it very hard to fight off a virus.
We have witnessed the emergence of a previously unknown pathogen, which has escalated into an unprecedented outbreak and which has been met by an unprecedented response. As I have said repeatedly since my return from Beijing, the Chinese government is to be congratulated for the extraordinary measures it has taken to contain the outbreak, despite the severe social and economic impact those measures are having on the Chinese people. We would have seen many more cases outside China by now, and probably deaths, if it were not for the government's efforts and the progress they have made to protect their own people and the people of the world. The speed with which China detected the outbreak, isolated the virus, sequenced the genome, and shared it with WHO and the world are very impressive and beyond words. So is China's commitment to transparency and to supporting other countries. In many ways, China is actually setting a new standard for outbreak response, and it's not an exaggeration. I also offer my profound respect and thanks to the thousands of brave health professionals and all frontline responders who, in the midst of the Spring Festival, are working 24/7 to treat the sick, save lives, and bring this outbreak under control. Thanks to their efforts, the number of cases in the rest of the world so far has remained relatively small. There are now 98 cases in 18 countries outside China, including 8 cases of human-to-human transmission in 4 countries: Germany, Japan, Vietnam, and the United States of America. So far, we have not seen any deaths outside China.
Thank you very much. So now was the time. Today the emergency committee almost unanimously concluded that it was now time to suggest to the DG of WHO that the novel coronavirus outbreak is a public health emergency of international concern. Considering first the increase in the number of cases in China, second the increase in the number of countries affected with cases, and also that some countries have taken questionable measures concerning travelers. Thanks to the IHR, our main international health treaty, declaring the public health emergency of international concern is likely to facilitate WHO leadership role for public health measures holding countries to account concerning additional measures they may take regarding travel, trade, quarantine or screening, research efforts, global coordination and anticipation of economic impacts, support to vulnerable states. Declaration of a fake should certainly not be seen as a manifestation of distrust in the Chinese authorities and people, which are doing tremendous efforts on the front line of this outbreak with transparency and, let us hope, with success. Novel coronavirus has placed its crown in several countries. Some are able to try to cope with new cases. For some others, it will be more difficult, and declaration of a public health emergency of international concern should open ways to facilitate this task. The DG just declared the novel coronavirus even as a public health emergency of international concern. For this purpose, the Emergency Committee has formulated advices that could become temporary recommendations concerning WHO, China, and affected or non-affected countries, and this will be detailed in the statement about public health measures, travel, research, international cooperation, and coordination.